nerderotic.com.
"40 years ago today, you were brought into the light. You witnessed the greatest science fiction television show ever created. Then, the unimaginable. What did it cost you? Your faith? Your faith in us. Your faith in yourself. Tell us, why did you quit Star Trek, Nerdrotic?"
What's the best way to avoid a copyright strike from CBS? Shoot the trailer yourself, especially when it's that easy. I broke out my Galaxy Note 8, my son helped me with the hand washing scene, and there you have a perfect representation of the Star Trek Picard teaser trailer from CBS All Access, which is now called an Amazon original. So hey, we love Amazon because it has The Expanse, and we know they are not paying as much for Picard as Netflix was paying for Star Trek Discovery. We also know that Netflix rejected this show. Why? Because of the story. So what did we learn from this trailer? Well, besides looking like they just grabbed a Canon 7D or a 5D and went up to Michael Chabon's vineyard and shot Michael Chabon walking around his vineyard a little bit and just CGing some spaceships. By the way, my spaceships looked a lot better. By the way, if you want one of these Orvilles, 3dtrekker.com, 3dtrekker.com. Thanks again. Well, it looks like this is indeed taking place in and around the events of Star Trek Countdown, a prequel comic that came out prior to the 2009 J.J. Abrams Star Trek. You remember that, the one that failed utterly, and the one that they stick with the aesthetic for some reason. They just can't seem to shake it. It's almost like they're contractually obligated to stick with that, So we are in the Prime universe. More on that in a bit. The narrator talks about how he's awesome and that he started the greatest rescue armada in the history of Starfleet. And then something unimaginable happened. Something that comes at a great cost to Picard, causing him to break his faith in Starfleet and himself. And my guess is, since this is an Alex Kurtzman and Akiva Goldsman production, it will be Starfleet's fault. Starfleet will have something to do with the destruction of Romulus, and it'll also have something to do with Section 31. Why? Because they just can't seem to shake that storyline either. You remember Star Trek Into Darkness. It had Section 31 and super advanced technology. And you remember Star Trek Discovery. It had Section 31 and super advanced technology. It's almost like they're contractually obligated to stay right in the things that they've already created. Isn't that weird that they can't shake that? Isn't it weird that we get a Picard show almost 2 decades later and they want to fit it in the frame of the JJ verse, but yet we get people telling us all the time, you're being ridiculous. This is real canon. There's no contract. There's no 25% difference. Well, then why in the hell would you take a Picard show and put it into a prequel comic to a failed movie series from a decade ago? Listen, I'm excited that Patrick Stewart is coming back as Captain Jean-Luc Picard. I'm not excited that none of the other crew members are going to be there except to direct. I am not excited about Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman being involved in this. It almost guarantees that it's going to be bad. But we got some beautiful shots in this trailer. It's a beautifully shot wine commercial with Michael Chabon's boots and a key grips shadow at Michael Chabon's vineyard. But listen, this thing obviously looks like it was hastily put together, just like that photo shoot, and they could only get Patrick Stewart to get a shot of him just sitting down and looking despondent. That's what we get? That's your teaser? You couldn't have shot something inside of a building, inside of a room? You couldn't have mocked up a scene? But the one thing this trailer does show is how hardcore Star Trek fans are. And I love Star Trek fans. They are so excited about this. And I've seen some of the trailer reactions. And people are holding out hope. And I just want to wipe that away from you. I want to take that away from you right now because I want you to be ready. And to all of the new subscribers here from the Game of Thrones stuff, you got to understand, most of you probably did not see Star Trek Discovery. It is god-awful bad. It is worse than Season 8 of Game of Thrones, okay? It is worse than Doctor Who Season 11 in a lot of ways. I know I go back and forth on that, but it was really that bad. It did so much damage to the brand because it's not Star Trek. It's Star Trek for people who don't like Star Trek, made by people who don't know enough about Star Trek to put the ranking bands on Captain Pike's uniform. They had to do it with CGI. But stuff like that I can forgive. What I can't forgive is attacking fans for just saying this is a bad show. And that's what's been happening from CBS. They've endorsed a lot of hate towards us because we don't like their show because their show isn't Star Trek. Now, Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman, we need to talk about this because this is
Star Trek Picard, brought to you by one of the minds who's killed not one, but two cinematic universes. One, The Dark World, which only lasted one film. Two, Amazing Spider-Man, killing a franchise that's almost impossible to kill, but Alex Kurtzman found a way. Written by Akiva Goldsman, who's brought us Sonar in Space, Nipples on the Batsuits, and Robin stabbing a guy in the D with a pair of scissors in Titans. And who could forget this gem of genre? Batman and Robin, yes, written by Akiva Goldsman.
So at the end of the teaser, Admiral Picard is asked why he quit Starfleet. And at the time of Countdown, I do believe he was the Vulcan ambassador in the comics. So go and read the comic. It's actually a pretty damn good comic. But this show doesn't look like that message of hope. Again, it looks like they did a Picard version of Logan, which Patrick Stewart was in, of course. But that's what we get from Alex Kurtzman. He just copies other things. Star Trek Discovery, again, new Game of Thrones fans who are here to the channel, was basically an origin story for Iron Man, but Iron Man was Michael Burnham. And don't be surprised if the time-traveling spacesuit Michael Burnham shows up in this show. Wouldn't surprise me at all, or some element of Star Trek Discovery shows up in this show. What to expect from Star Trek Picard? Well, I'm gonna hope for the best and expect the worst, because that's probably what we're gonna get, unless, of course, they change out the writers, or they make Michael Chabon the head writer of the series, and Akiva Goldsman is there in name only, and then it's got a chance to be good. And believe me, if it's good, I'll be the first to tell you. I'll be so happy, and we can all celebrate the true return of Star Trek together. But it already looks like they're going to be going with the JJ aesthetic. It looks like it's going to be Star Trek Prime canon, and I just can't get behind that. But time will tell. We will see. I will be reviewing every single episode as it comes out right here at Nerdrotic. So please join me for that. I do live reviews afterwards. So I will also be at the Star Trek convention later this summer. Join me there. I will be doing a meetup. Please go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. Everybody have a great day, and may the free folks sing songs of your greatness.